So therefore you leak compression, and therefore you leak, you know, like in the future you could possibly leak oil into your, and start to burn oil. You could leak oil into your piston chamber. So how does using the factory method and giving your engine a leak increase its reliability? It doesn't. Creating a complete seal with higher compression, having a more complete seal, raises your reliability, because you have a complete, your engine is properly separated. The compartments, you know, the chambers are properly separated, and you have a complete, you know, proper seal. There's no way that giving yourself a worse seal is going to increase the life of your engine. That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, and I've owned, I don't know how many motorcycles, about, I'd guess around 8-ish or more, 8 to 10. And I broke in 2 of them using the factory recommended method, and both of them fucking sucked within like a year or 2. Like this scooter, for example, I broke this in with the factory method, and I've done some modifications to it. But before I did the modifications, it was noticeably slower than any other scooter of the same type. Because most people in Taiwan, they don't use the factory method to break in engines, and I did. And because of that, my scooter was like fucking dirt slow. Like, it was a joke. I'd pull up beside somebody else, the exact same scooter as me, we'd both gun it, and they just like pull away like quickly. And I'm like, that's just great. And I had a motorcycle back in Canada, and I used the factory method to break in the engine. And I could notice, like, when I bought the bike, I would need to do like 6,000 RPM to do 60 miles an hour. But then like 6 months later, I had to do 6.5 RPM to do 60 miles an hour. And then another 6 months later, I had to do 7,000 RPM to do the exact same speed. Like, my engine was just getting weaker and weaker, and I had to give more and more gas to do the exact same speeds that I was doing before. Why? Because the engine had leaks. And how do leaks work? The more you know, like the more pressure you put on a seal that has a leak, the bigger the leak's going to get. Just like a dam or something, right? You know, you get a dam and then a hole bursts the dam and the water starts leaking. And then what happens? Does the leak in the dam just stay that size? No, of course not. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. So anyways, yeah, if you use, you know, and check this out. This is a few more points that are really stressed and heartbreaking. This is like a secret, like it's a factory secret, but there's photos have been leaked, and there's been a lot of people interviewed at like manufacturers, and a lot of cars and a lot of motorcycles, when the engine is still, when they first put them together at the factory, they'll take the bike up to redline, or the car up to redline. They'll redline the engine the very, very, very first time the engine is ever started. They'll redline it. For example, they do this with Honda Goldwings. The reason being is because a Goldwing is such a large, heavy bike, and it's usually bought by like family type guys who want to travel around America, and those type of people never really get up to like redline, or not usually. They don't usually take the bike up to redline when you're buying a big cruiser like a Honda Goldwing. So this is what I've heard, and there's evidence to support it, that every Honda Goldwing is redlined before it's even put on the street, because they know that their engines are just going to leak like fuck, because when they sell it, the person that buys them is never going to apply enough pressure on the piston rings to give a proper seal. But with more sportier bikes, they don't bother to do that at factory, because they know that you'll probably hit high enough RPMs to give it a so-so seal. You know what I mean? And that's good enough for them, because a so-so seal means that the bike's not going to die in the first year while it's under warranty, but the engine is going to start to die 2 or 3 years down the line, and that just, you know, and that means you have to buy another bike, or get an engine rebuilt, and that's more money for the company. Yeah, this is very, 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 very controversial, you know, and don't even. Whatever. My mind's already made up. Okay, I've researched it on the internet like crazy, and I got, you know, I got life experience too. I've owned a few vehicles. My Ninja right now is running fine. It's got 7,000 kilometers on it, and I rode the hell out of that engine, like brand new engine, and I was doing full on quarter-mile sprints, like just full on acceleration as hard as I could, and then I did, you know, that was the exact polar opposite of what the manufacturers tell you to do, you know. And my bike doesn't burn oil, and it has no smoke, and it still has a lot of power. I raced a Ninja 636 yesterday, and I didn't get it on video. I got a few videos where I'm playing around with that guy. He's on a Ninja 636, which has 80. No, I'm wrong again. About 70. It has about 70, 65, 70 horsepower more than my bike. Okay, it's double my horsepower is 70. His is like 136. So he practically has double the horsepower, and we raced from 0 to about 60 miles an hour, and I was pulling away. And we were neck and neck at first. At first we were neck and neck. Like I looked, his tire and my tire, for a few dozen feet, we were side by side. And then I started pulling away. Not much, but I was literally just pulling away from him. And we were both at total full throttle. It was a full-on drag. So no one can tell me that I did any damage to my bike by doing a hard braking when I'm performing that well. The only other factor is that the guy probably weighs twice as much as I do, so that's a factor as well, I'm sure. But still, you know, I don't think that should have happened. I shouldn't have been quicker than him. So, anyways, yeah, I highly believe in the hard break-in, and I'm going to put some links on the side that you can click on to read about yourself. You know, don't bother arguing it unless you read the fucking links, because then there's no point arguing about what you don't know about or what you haven't studied or researched. So, yeah, click on the links. If the video is here and the camera's here, does that mean I'll be pointing to the right or the left? I don't know.